welcome to today's live stream, guys. Today, like we said yesterday, we are going to be discussing aircraft accident investigation, and we are going to be learning some lessons from it, and that's basically why we are discussing it. Hi, good day, guys. I can see someone is here already joining me for this live stream. Welcome. I really appreciate your presence. And before we start, if you're new here, this is Princess Anu-TV. We talk about aviation, motivation, and adventure. Hi! Ademola Baimi, I appreciate your presence here. Thank you so much. Don't forget, as usual, give this video a thumbs up. It's very important. It helps the channel move. It helps people know that the video is good. So, not only that, guys, if you've not subscribed and you're new, please do me a favor. Click on the subscribe button. It's somewhere around here and it's free to subscribe. So anytime you think of clicking on somebody's subscription button, like, you're not paying any money to subscribe, for goodness sake. So please subscribe. Thank you so much. So I have kind of like an outline here. We're going to be going about it like stage by stage, step by step. We're going to be discussing about this particular accident investigation I watched today. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Baby, thank you so much. So basically, guys, we are going to be discussing this accident investigation I watched today, and it's actually a turboprop aircraft, but it's a regional jet. But before I start, I would like to give you definitions what an accident is, because some things happen in aviation and they are actually called incidents. So I would like us to define what actually an accident is. So I'm just going to go into my dictionary here on this device. We're going to be defining what an accident is. Then from there, we'll define what an incident is, because some things happen in aviation and people are like, oh my god, it's a crash, Some things are actually accidents, some things are actually incidents. So basically, as concerns transport and vehicle, which definitely an aircraft is a vehicle, like a means of transportation. So here is defined as an unexpected event with negative consequences occurring without the intention of the one suffering the consequences. And as it concerns transport and all that, especially a collision, similar unintended events that causes damage or death. Guys, most of the air crashes, aircraft accident cases, most persons do not come back normal. In fact, some of them leave the aviation industry totally. So we are going to be starting this episode. We are going to be starting it till Saturday. So today is going to be episode 1, tomorrow episode 2, on Friday 3, then on Saturday 4. We are going to be doing these 4 episodes for now, like to just keep our brain fresh, know what is going on in the aviation. Hi Nashina, welcome to today's live stream. Nice having you here. I appreciate your presence so much. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget, give this video a thumbs up before you run away. Give this video a thumbs up. So now that we've defined what an accident is, I would also like to define for you what an incident is, because these things, like, sometimes, in fact, the one I watched today, the cabin crew lady, that she was the only one in that aircraft, because it was just a passenger jet of about around 29 persons, and like at the end of the accident investigation and all that, the video, they like, she has not gone back to work since then. She's not flying. She's no longer an air hostess. Like, so these things kind of like affect a lot of persons. People get to see, wow, life is so important. People get to face a lot of challenges. So let me define what an incident is, so that as we go on for the other days and episodes we're going to be having, we will not have to like go over these definitions over and over again. So that's how it is. Episode 1, it's always, you know, trying to jumble everything together and all that. So let me define what an incident is, so you get to know. Okay, an event or occurrence. Let me look for it as it concerns transport and all that. Okay, I think this one will do. In coming or happening accidentally, like an incident coming or happening accidentally, not in a usual course of things, but in connection to a main design. Maybe something happened, connects together, but most of the time an incident is not usually a fatal thing. Like an incident, nobody basically dies as it concerns incidents. But when you talk about accidents, guys, especially when it has to do with air crashes, people lose their lives. So after defining this, I would just like us to go in straight into the topic. And I'm not a very good storyteller. I'm sorry guys, today I came with my water because I'm kind of like, you know, feeling dehydrated. So Nashinawa, I'm so sorry that I'm disturbing, but just wanted to ask you, do you, I don't really get all those abbreviations, all those small abbreviations. Can you like expand them? Okay, we are going straight into the topic of today. I'm going to be telling you the accident which they actually lost a wing. Okay, where am I going to start from? This event happened actually in 1999. There was a captain and there was definitely a first officer. So we just had like 2 pilots on board, and it was a passenger flight of about 29 persons. 29 persons. These 29 persons actually include the pilots and the crew. Basically, I don't think the 29 persons actually included the crew. Sorry, I didn't really pay attention to that particular detail, whether it included the crew or not. So in this event, it was a regular flight. They were just moving from just a point nearby. It was a regional airline. They were just moving from a point nearby to another place. And this aircraft is actually a turboprop aircraft. And it's been like a normal routine for them. Hi, Yemi Barlow. Welcome. Nice having you here. Though you're late, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and join us in the event. I successfully joined the session today. I'm happy for you, Madagascar. Thank you so much for joining in today. So basically, guys, they were just moving from point A to like point B, and it was a normal routine. In fact, according to the accident investigation, these two pilots have flown over that route together for like 4 months. So it's, imagine flying a route for like 4 months, and these persons do it like very regularly. They do it almost like every single day, because I'm sure that pilots actually run shifts, so they might not be flying maybe the route every day, but at least they have flown it for like 4 months according to the accident investigation. And for them flying that route, they were so familiar with the route. But all of a sudden, guys, they just heard boom, like something ripped off out of the aircraft. And they were not so sure about what actually ripped off from the aircraft. So it was as if the left engine was actually bad, so they lost their left engine, but they didn't know the actual situation that concerns that left engine. So as normal, the way they teach us in flight school and in normal trainings, maybe if you have type ratings and all that for turboprop aircraft, you know, you can fly an aircraft with 1 engine. It's part of the things that are being taught in flight school. You can actually fly an aircraft with 1 engine. It's not so abnormal. You just have to like do your checklist on how to fly an aircraft with 1 engine. So the pilots, they thought that okay, it's just a 1 engine stuff, and they've been trained for 1 engine stuff, and so they started to troubleshoot. You feather, you know, you take the propeller back, you confirm. I think, if I can remember, though I've not fully done that, but I have done the simulator practices for that. So if I can like fully remember, I know you have to like feather the propeller. Verify VC. You have to verify that it's actually the left engine, then you confirm, you know, you do it there, then you follow your checklist to make sure that that engine is secure and it's not going to cause so much drag for you, then you fly basically your VYSE speed. That's a speed for a critical one engine. You just have to fly that. So basically that was what I saw them doing in the cockpit. But the cabin crew and the passengers, since it was not just like a very big aircraft, they looked through the window and actually the propeller of the propeller on that left wing has actually shifted from the head of the engine to the body, like to the wing of the aircraft, and the aircraft was actually descending up to like 3,000. Okay, initially they were descending 5,500 feet per minute. Imagine leaving 30,000 feet, descending 5,500 feet per minute. Like, they were seriously losing height. And guys, one of the things I think we should learn from this is that sometimes you cannot actually predict every single thing that happened. In fact, what I saw with those pilots, or what they were basically doing, was that they were trying to troubleshoot a situation which they thought, okay, this was actually it. But the passengers and obviously the cabin crew actually saw what the real situation was, which was the fact that the engine, and you know, the cabin crew just thought that, okay, maybe the pilot actually knows what was going on, and so she didn't bother to like say, okay, we can see so that. It was later on when they had come down, they had lost more than, like, they had come down to about 5,000, around 5,000 feet, and they had like a little bit clear skies, that the captain was just like, okay, he just like looked and he discovered that, oh my god, that was not actually, that engine was totally gone, and the propeller was displaced completely. So during the course of the flight, you get to discover that they kind of troubleshooted, hi Yemi away, they kind of troubleshooted in accordance to what they know. And that's one thing, not everything, what I've gotten to discover is that not everything can actually be taught you in school. Like, they can't teach you everything concerning aviation, flying and all that in school. There are some things you will have to learn as it concerns experience. Not only experience, your own personal skills, like maybe reading, getting to find out one thing or the other. That's why I always say that even as you're preparing to come to flight school, or if you're already in flight school, or if you're already flying, the best thing you can do for yourself is always to watch some of these accident investigations and also do some research for yourself, and if possible simulate, like from your aircraft, simulate different scenarios, especially if you have this table sim. Actually, hi, World Psyche is here today. Welcome, Shea. I appreciate your presence. Thank you so much. So guys, one thing I got to discover is that if you keep like practice, especially if you have a table sim. Personally, I don't yet have a table sim, but I have like a simulator actually in my system that I try to fly sometimes. Then I thank you so much, Shay. I really appreciate. So I just try to like fly it sometimes, troubleshoot some kind of issues, because this flying of a thing, guys, nobody knows when it's going to happen. The thing is that you can do your part, you can do your best. In fact, I wrote down some things. First of all, the aircraft was totally wrecked. The engine of the aircraft was totally wrecked. Now, in fact, when it came to a time when they were supposed to use their checklist to do a landing check and all that, it was like, oh my god, they could not even basically use the checklist. Time had gone, the aircraft was descending. In fact, they requested from the control tower a particular, they actually declared an emergency, and they requested from the control tower on landing in an airport close by. Funny enough, they didn't even get that airport close by, but there was something else. For the fact that they requested, like they declared an emergency from the control tower, they expected, and they also declared, they also requested that they needed ground emergency people like ambulances and all that. The control tower was so concerned with the fact that he had to treat that emergency, so he even forgot the fact that they actually requested some ground emergency people. And when they later first landed, they actually first landed in a place that was bushy, grassy. They did not obviously get to the airport. In fact, it was horror. It was so horror. When I was watching, I was like, oh my god. So these things actually, like, it's a sight you don't want to see. They finally landed. They actually the captain did a very good job. He landed, and when he landed, due to the impact, he actually hit his head, and he had a very, like, he was unconscious. Then the first officer, because a lot of passengers were coming out, but the fuel, in fact, it was not the landing. The landing did not actually kill anybody in the aircraft. It was the fuel that was coming out from the wings of the aircraft that caused a fire that actually killed persons. So it was so, in fact, landing alone tells me that cannot actually save you from some issues. Sometimes you need to like talk, and though the main thing is always aviate, navigate, then communicate. Communication is one of the last things, but sometimes if you give proper communication during the period of your emergency, it kind of like helps. Like, please, we need an ambulance. Well, it was not actually the pilot's fault. In fact, after the whole investigation, they discovered that the company that actually produced that propeller had issues. They had 3 incidents prior to that time, like having to fight. The propeller was bad at one point. This other one's propeller was bad at that point. So that was just like a defining factor. People had to lose their lives before this manufacturers get to understand that, come on, this thing you produced wasn't working well. Hi, Over Wisdom, welcome on board. Nice, like having you here. Sorry guys, today I'm actually feeling very dehydrated, so I have to keep like drinking water. But that's by the way. So guys, some things I actually wrote as concerns this is that so much, even no matter the kind of experience you have in aviation, nobody is a superhuman. Actually, at the end of the air crash investigation, I got to discover that the captain actually died. The first officer did not die, but he had up to 40-degree burn. But I feel if you can't control it, again, you have to drop the fuel, and it will make it not to. No, see, something is that when things happen very like fast, as it concerns flying, there are some things, your first thing in your mind is how to keep the aircraft under control. In fact, even when they teach us emergency procedures and all that, the first thing is to get a speed that you can glide, because if you lose the engine of the aircraft becomes a glider. The aircraft is not like totally useless. There's a speed you can actually keep that aircraft in, that it will actually glide, that it will actually like, it can still fly on its own, like even without the engine, but you need to keep that exact speed. So sometimes when this incident actually happen, the pilot is faced with a situation to keep that aircraft first under control. In fact, like if you check that other video of the one we watched yesterday, you will get to discover that in fact, that was so terrible, because the pilots, even till death, they kept on like struggling with the controls of the aircraft. They kept on struggling, but they could not obviously make it. So the thing is, nobody is super. We are all learning. We keep on learning, and that's one thing in aviation. You have to keep on learning, so that you don't learn from your own experience. Yes, what's like it's scary at a point. At a point, we have to look at it. It's one of the safest means of transportation. That's the truth. Flying is one of the safest means. So the only thing is that due to like air crashes, accidents, incidents, then we learn from these people's experiences. Then we implement it so that people don't keep. That's the reason we have NTSB. Like, people don't keep on repeating same mistakes. We have accident investigation bureau, well, I don't know, we have them. So whenever there's like an accident, they always come on board to like analyze what actually happened, how can they make the situation better, what is the thing that will be done. Yeah, based on statistics, is way safe than other means. That's the truth. It's the safest means of transportation. If you compare how many persons that die like on the road, or due to other means of transportation. Hi, Edo Timothy, welcome on board. Don't forget, give this video a thumbs up, very, very important. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. Hi, Sahi, thank you so much for joining. Yeah, and you see, in fact, if you check the ratio of, let me say, in like 100 persons or 300 persons, no, 300 persons statistics would be too much. Let's use like 100 persons. If you say in a space of 100 persons, how many persons die due to air crashes? Maybe you're going to be putting like 5, or let's say 10. Or if you say land, due to land, like how many persons die, you're going to be saying like 40, 50. So the ratio is kind of like up and down. It's totally different. So that's something that actually should encourage a lot of flyers. And the truth is that the safety measures put in place is actually higher. What do you do in cases that you don't have enough time to go through the checklist? Probably in cases of hypoxia. Actually, hypoxia, let me define what hypoxia is. Hypoxia actually is a state whereby you lose oxygen. You lose oxygen due to that level that you're in. That's why above 10,000 feet, either the aircraft has to be pressurized or you have to like take oxygen, like additional oxygen with you. And funny enough, hypoxia, when hypoxia happens, you don't even know. That's the bad thing about hypoxia. If somebody catches hypoxia, the person just, his time of useful consciousness, there's something we call time of useful consciousness, TUC, like you just blank out. Like you blank out completely, and so you can't even do anything. So at that moment, you can't personally help yourself, except like, that's why what happens is that like when you keep like having, if you check what's going on and you discover that there's a loss of pressurization and all that in the aircraft based on what I've been taught, you see that people descend, like you have to descend to lower than 10,000 feet where you know you can actually control the aircraft. You can't keep flying at that particular point because you're going to lose oxygen, you're going to lose control. You don't even know when all these things happen. And you know something about aircraft, these things happen super fast. Like, bam, it has happened. Bam, you see that the cockpit recorder, when they are saying, they'll say the last 4 minutes of the flight, they'll say the last 10 minutes of the flight, the last 10 minutes after they declared emergency, because these things happen fast. An aircraft can just have one issue, bam, and before you know what's going on, they are down. Like, they are down in less than 2-3 minutes. But the thing you should be assured of is that aircraft makers, manufacturers, and all that, the people that make the parts of the aircraft, airliners, and the pilots themselves are very, very much trained to contain and contain and, like, every situation. They are kind of trained to manage most of the prominent situations as it concerns aircraft. So basically, you can't really have like an emergency where totally the pilot doesn't know what to do. It doesn't really work that way. Most of the time, you see that they have to communicate with controllers. Controllers give them vectors. Vectors is like, let me use like a layman term. If I want to like go to, okay, let me use Lagos as an example. If I want to like go to Lekki, or I want to go to the island or whatever in Lagos, I ask which road am I going to follow, and somebody keeps directing me, go here, go here, go here. So that's what the controllers do. They give you vectors, fly heading this, fly heading that, maintain so altitude before you come down. All those things, they give you vectors that can actually help you. So basically, there's no situation that pilots are not trained to control. So guys, that's it for this video. Tomorrow we are going to be like touching some other things, but before then, I have some questions that were asked, and I said I'm going to touch them in today's video. I don't know whether it's quite late, but let me quickly touch them. The first question I have here that was asked by somebody in the comment section: can the duration for training in NCAT be to become a licensed CPL, like commercial pilot license holder, be shortened in less than 2 years? Actually, this person is concerned with the fact that why would I come and spend 2 years or even spend more than 2 years? That is why oxygen masks are deployed in cases of loss of pressurization. You are very right about the descending as soon as possible. Thank you so much for that contribution. Actually, when they have depressurization and all that's happening, yeah, your oxygen masks will kind of fall down for you to have oxygen so that you don't starve. So their oxygens, like, if you listen to your cabin crew when they are giving you all the do this, do that, it's actually important. Let me tell you guys, in fact, due to watching of accident investigations, I've gotten to discover that it's very important to listen to those things that the cabin crew actually say. And always, I'm getting advice, always strap yourself on your seat belt. On your seat, strap yourself, use your seat belt at all times. Forget about all those things that maybe you see the seat belt sign is actually off and you just want to move around. See guys, when the chips are down, when there's problem, most of the time it's people that are not strapped that face it more, because if I venture the roof of the aircraft just pulls out, anybody that is not strapped is going with it. Guys, the person is like flying out with that thing. But if you're strapped on your seat with your seat belt, you will not face most of those kind of issues. So safety is very paramount. Safety should be your number one target, especially if you're a frequent flyer, if you're a person that flies all the time. There's this notion to want to get used to it. Come on, I've been flying, and that's actually what happens. You know, they tell us, I have an instructor that always used to tell me that the moment you get overconfident with the flying of a thing, there is likely that an issue is about to happen. Never, it's not a profession you just get overconfident and say, okay, I know what I'm doing, blah blah blah. Guys, anything can happen. So you need to be all prepared. You need to make sure you follow the check. Sometimes we are like tempted not to like follow all the checklists. Sometimes you're like, I know this one, I know that, oh, I can do it off heart. Come on, if you can do it off heart, they are not going to provide a checklist for you. They know that sometimes there's a probability to skip one or two things. That's why a checklist is provided. So I'm going to be advising, don't ever get to a stage in your career where you just get overconfident. Like, come on, I can do it. What's up? I beg. Like, And this doesn't just pertain to flying. Any other, the thing is that why I'm concerning into flying so much is because there's no parking space in the air, guys. There's no parking space. This is episode 1. We are going to be talking about several other things in other episodes till Saturday. So do not miss it. We are going to be like taking up lessons, knowing how to like improve ourselves in any career you're doing, especially aviation. Aviation is very technical, very safety cautious, very everything has to be fail safe. Basically, you know, if in aviation they put a particular boat, they have to put 2 boats together to make sure that if one actually loses, this second one can actually like help out. So guys, a lot of things to learn, a lot. And I actually wanted to start answering a question, but I'm sorry, I might not touch a question because we've gone. I don't want this video to be super long. So tomorrow I'm going to deal with these questions that you guys asked, and that's where we're going to start from. I actually wanted us to start from there today, but I was too overjoyed about this topic and I kind of skipped it. So I have 3 questions here. If you have any other question, anything you think we should talk about, anything at all that's bothering you concerning getting into flight school, concerning doing any course, especially becoming a student pilot, cabin crew, aircraft maintenance engineering, flight dispatcher, and all that, do me a favor, send me like an email or leave a comment in this video. Okay guys, I really appreciate your presence and I'm so glad is not down up. Sorry guys, I'm happy. Like, imagine me trying to praise the network and the network is kind of like behaving anyhow. Anyways, thank you so much guys for joining me in today's live stream. I actually appreciate your presence and I do not take it for granted. So I'm here for the next like 1 minute. let's take some questions. If you have questions, leave them so that I can touch them for I'm just going to give 1 minute for this question. So drop your questions so that we can talk about it. Yes, just like Aloha accident, the cabin crew lost her life when the roof of the aircraft parted way due to corrosion and negligence. Thank you so much. Thank you so much about this. You see, hi Shegun Sanusi, welcome. You see, Adebola Bayemi, thank you so much for sharing this thing. That's why I'm always talking about the fact that you have to strap your seatbelt. In fact, me as flying as a passenger, I'm always like, sometimes I fall into that category of persons that, okay, the moment you see the seatbelt sign off, you just like remove your seatbelt. But the moment I started watching accident investigations, the moment I started seeing, oh, this was actually happening, I started getting more cautious. I started getting more vigilant, more alert about what can happen as concerns accident, as concerns incident. So very, very important, guys. Note that you can see that somebody has already made a comment also about that. Please always strap yourself as much as possible and do well to listen whenever the cabin crew is talking. Guys, yes, they may look so beautiful and all that, and you like lose your attention, but guys, you need that information. Trust me, you need it, because when the chips are down, when something actually happens, it's only that information basically that can help you, that can like aid your survival at that time. So just like he said, a cabin crew was actually sucked out. She was doing her basic assignment, not like she was even like just walking around. She was sharing meal and all that. And before you know, the moment the roof like went out, she was out. Sahu, Suli was a great movie to learn from. Yeah, I've also watched Suli, and I really give Captain Suli a big kudos. In fact, he's one of the biggest heroes basically in aviation, and this was because he was able to save a lot of lives. It's not easy, and this we are just going to be talking about this from now till Saturday. So guys, let's follow through. Let's come on time. The time for the live stream is 5 p.m. Do not miss it, please. I'm begging you, don't miss it. So I'll meet you in tomorrow's video. And I can see more persons are here. You came late, so sorry about that. Don't forget, it's 5 p.m. every single day on this channel. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you're just joining in, and subscribe if you've not subscribed. The subscription button is somewhere around here. Till we meet next time. Bye guys, thank you so much for joining in. Thank you.